Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this week for this edition of Sisters of Legacy. Thank you in advance for being a part of our conversation. We're going to go ahead and run our intro, and we'll be right back. All right, ladies, here we are. So, as usual, we're here on Tuesday, 8:30-ish, with my fellow co-hosts. We have Shanetta McNair,
Hi.
Katrina Taylor,
Hi.
and Tangela Terrell.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, ladies. So we know last week we had Dr. Aldridge on, and she shared a wealth of information with us concerning our feminine health. Guess that's all the health of our wonderful lady parts. And she was on with us last week, and she did share, and she also left some information. So if anyone would want to know how to get in touch with her, you could easily inbox us, and we'd be able to share her contact information with us. For me, I'll just say that the parts of the things that she shared that stuck out the most for me was actually a few things. Just not knowing that you could start your child or start your daughter on um, on the maintenance of her body at such a young age. I didn't know there was a thing, such a thing as I believe she called it pediatric gynecology or something close to that. I may not be exactly right, but I never had any idea. So hearing that was very informative for me, especially since I have an 11-year-old daughter. Also, just hearing her speak more firsthand about some of the differences that she may have experienced by way of her patients in the care for women of color as opposed to other nationalities. So that was all very informative for me to hear it from a doctor, and just to have her explain everything in everyday English was wonderful too. Um, Regular, normal words that we could all understand, so we could all walk away with things that we could apply to our everyday lives.
I agree, and I think, like you, the impact to the African American community is always interesting to me. How we always seem to lead the charge, or we always seem to lead the numbers when it comes to mortality. When it comes to health related issues, so understanding how we need to take care of our reproductive health, as long in addition to everything else that we need to maintain. I think for a lot of our communities just kind of shy away from doctors, just like with the whole vaccine. There seems to be a little bit of suspicion when it comes to taking care of our health. So it was just a reminder for me. Actually, after that, the next day, I actually scheduled my appointment with my gynecologist, um, to make sure that we're not missing, any potential issues within our bodies. So I really appreciated what she shared with us.
So I have a question, Tangela. So have you had that appointment yet?
Not yet.
So do you feel like you're going into the appointment more informed?
Absolutely. I'm definitely coming in with more questions, especially around my daughter and
Right.
getting some insight from, my doctor around, okay, what do I need to be telling her or how do I prepare her? So I'm definitely going into it with more questions than I have in times past. Even some questions that we didn't get a chance to touch on, some questions that I had about um, like birth control and the hormones, and does it kind of throw off your body and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm coming in there with a lot of questions.
Good evening, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. So Chanel, what were some of your takeaways?
I think for me, just the the sheer explanation and the plain explanation of why it's so important for us to kind of pay attention and be mindful, and to have our appointments and to continue to make sure that we ask questions and just being comfortable in general with asking questions. I think a lot of times you go in to your appointment, and number one, they're so fast that
Yeah.
you almost don't feel like you have time to ask questions, because it's like your doctor comes in, they, wash their hands and they're like, scoot down on the table, let me see what you got. And like, you're just kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. Can I talk first? Like, I got questions. So I think it's important to know that you can ask those questions in the midst of, getting those appointments, because I think a lot of times by the time it's all over, we're just kind of sitting there like, I had questions. I don't know if I'm
Hmm.
comfortable enough to ask the questions. Should I have asked the questions, before we got started? Um, so having a moment with a doctor to be able to say, okay, tell us more, tell us this, tell us the perspective of, that. And I think it was really cool to hear her perspective on the one thing that, she would tell, patients that the one thing that they would need to know, coming into your doctor's appointment. So I think that's good. I mean, I really enjoyed her being here.
Right. And Trina.
I think my takeaway was um, I felt like she really understood the position of the patient as far as being uncomfortable coming in to see her, and I think that she and I guess her office made it a point to try to assuage that and try to make you feel more comfortable. She said that she would um, have the patient echo back what they said, so that what she said, so that she could
Mm-hmm.
be sure that they understood. So I thought that was so important. And one of the things that my doctor's office does is he doesn't have you ask your questions in the exam room. So after your exam is done, you get dressed and you go into the office and sit down and talk. So I guess it kind of takes away that I'm here half naked trying to talk to you and you feel like I don't really have any
Yeah.
questions right now,
Hmm.
So I think that's, I guess the profession is kind of leaning into women feeling uncomfortable in that moment, and just kind of you get more dignity by putting your clothes back on and coming and sitting across the desk to have a conversation. So I think that it's important that the doctors are understanding our sense of being uncomfortable in that moment.
I like that idea to be able
Yeah.
to go and sit down with the doctor. I feel like those appointments in general, like you wait and you wait. You get there at your appointed time, you wait in the waiting room for a long time, and then you go into the room and it's like they check your weight, your blood pressure, all that good stuff. Then they leave you for a long time. You wait
Right.
and it's cold and they're like,
Mhm.
here's a little paper dress, put it on.
Take rest.
And the doctor comes in and it's like bing bam boom, thank you ma'am, I'm out. And you're like, whoa, like, and I know y'all may think I'm crazy, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. I feel like you're kind of like, you're all up in there. I feel like, we deserve a little bit more time together. Like I need you to spend a little bit of time with me, because you've just kind of been all in my personal space.
Right.
Talk to
Right.
me first.
It's
So,
true.
like, I
Yep.
mean, it's like, and they out. So I think
Hmm.
I appreciate being able to talk to an actual doctor and ask some
Hmm.
questions.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
No, I agree. It is a
Um,
little intimidating going to, like you said, especially when you're not comfortable with
Mm-hmm.
your doctor, or I was with one uh practice. I won't say who the carrier was, where they had all of their doctors like in one building, and it felt very factory like. And I didn't have a connection with the doctor. Matter of fact, I don't think I saw the same doctor each time I went there for my
Right. It's not
specific,
good.
issue. So it was completely, there was a disconnect. So to feel comfortable asking questions or any concerns that I may have had was out the window. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that doctor-patient relationship is really important, especially in
Yeah.
our community, because we lack trust anyway. Um, so when if doctors could work on making sure that your patients are comfortable with telling you what's really going on, I think that would help.
I totally agree. Hey, Ash, thanks for joining us tonight. I think it's important for us as women to um, not lose our voice.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's important for us to use our voices. Um, when it comes to our kids, we'll turn into bears. We'll maul you, we'll run you down with our car. We're gonna advocate for our kids. Even if it comes to, for those of us, your significant other, you're gonna be like, oh, back up off my husband, or back up off, this. Or when it comes to our parents, especially as, they get up in age, we'll go at the doctors in a heartbeat. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to us, then all of a sudden now we're demure, and and we're shy and we're apprehensive. I think as women it's very important to remember that we have to advocate for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
just as hard, if not harder, than we advocate for everyone else.
Yeah.
Too many times we let ourselves fall by the wayside because we're going to save everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come to realize personally, like if you if you get to a point where you're so worn out and beat down and falling apart and your body's out of whack, you're really no good to anybody
Anybody.
else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it is very important, to remember to advocate for ourselves, to use our voices to speak up. And I know sometimes, um, there's things we don't know. So sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. Sometimes you don't know, when things are out of order. For me, I feel like that's one of the reasons why, Sisters of Legacy is important. Why it's important to have a community where you can call somebody or text somebody and say, "Hey, I've been feeling like this. What this mean?" For some of you, you have your parents, you have your mom. You could call your mom. But for those that don't have a mom or don't have, that relationship with your family, it's important to build a community, have somebody that you can talk to when things don't seem quite right. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people can give you the right information, so you'll know what to ask or you'll know what to say. um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have anything to be embarrassed about. Okay, at the gynecologist, right? You are naked, and sometimes it might seem odd, talking to another woman. When I went to the guy, they did this, and I guess it's a sensitive topic, to some, but let's be same stuff. It's all supposed to work the same way. Our bodies are generally supposed to all do the same things. So, find somebody that you're comfortable enough with to, to ask questions if you don't know what to ask, or to be able to talk about it. Look, on my last visit, this was said and that was said and this happened. You know,
Mhm.
does that sound normal to you, or has this ever happened to you? We don't have to get graphic, and but there are ways to have conversations. So don't feel like you have something to be ashamed of, or something that can't be talked about.
Mhm.
Build a community where there's enough comfortability where you can talk about everything, and it doesn't have to be with everybody. Everybody should have somebody that you can call and have those conversations with. I think is very, very important. I'm sorry. Trina, oh, did you want to shift?
Oh, just um on the issue of women's health. I guess I just wanted to ask you all, just generally, like, did you have any health goals? Anything that you're doing now for your health? Anything that you feel like you can do better? Anything you want to start? Um, Things that you consistently do, things that maybe you need some motivation to start, or maybe you fell off the wagon with a few things.
Ashley said, can I ask a question? Of course you can ask a question. Ask away. I'll say about now, honestly, the only thing I do right is still drink water. Like that's the only thing, is that I drink water, which in turn, like, I have decent skin, like I don't suffer from like acne, and I don't have breakouts, and it keeps my skin good. But she said, should a young person what?
Sell their eggs. I think that's a personal choice of
Yeah.
what you,
Should you? I mean, yeah, that's definitely a a personal choice. I
I
don't.
think there's a market for it because there are people who need help conceiving.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't think it's a terrible thing because there are people who really want to be parents and just can't do
Right.
it by themselves. Um, So I think it's new for a lot of us to even consider or to think about. But I think that if someone is healthy enough and they make that choice to do something like that, that they should definitely do it. Like I have several friends who have had trouble conceiving,
Hmm.
and they tried lots of different things, and um, artificial insemination was kind of on the radar for them at some point. And they just kind of, whatever the path is that they each took, there are people who really want to be parents and their bodies just can't do it. So um I say to each his own. That's me.
No, I agree. I think a lot of things that, especially not to sound like a broken record, but in our community, we never would, it may not have been an option for us. It may not have kind of even been within our scope. But I think that's definitely something to consider. If that possibility to help others, who may, like you said, not be able to conceive. Um, I definitely say look into it and speak with your doctor to see, what type of impacts um, may result from it.
Now I'm also a proponent of adoption too. Like I do feel like there are lots of children and babies that need good homes that you know
Okay, so I'm probably gonna be the
oh, we
unpopular voice,
are
and I just want to say this, that it took me 10 years to have a child, being married for 10 years. And I mean, I went through all the stages of grief, depression, all stuff that I put on myself because I felt like, it was something wrong with me because it was not happening. So even being that person that had that experience, and that's like crying every spring, because when you come out in spring, everybody's pregnant. I watched all my friends have kids, like all of it. I still feel like treating your body like it's a refrigerator, selling eggs. I mean, I don't know. It just seems a bit much. And this is again my personal opinion because all of us on here are individuals. So it's like nobody speaks for anybody. It's all our personal opinions. I would just say being young, a lot of times you don't see or think about what your future could possibly be. And then, you have to be careful making decisions because you feel like you're young, not really totally understanding what it could mean for your future. So I would say, if it's something that you're interested in, definitely speak to a few doctors. Get all the information and understand um, how it might affect you long term, how it might affect your body, later. Feel like what? Yeah, that's how I feel. We still
So
want.
apparently there's good money in it.
I heard
Yeah,
that
but
too.
money
Apparently
is
there's good money in the market of selling your eggs. I mean, it's similar to what men
Mm-hmm.
would do with sperm donation.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but
um
men can't run out of sperm. Women can. You can run out of eggs though. I mean, just like she said last week, when you're
yeah,
born, that's with all the eggs you're gonna have your
yeah,
whole life.
she
So,
did say that.
and again, I'm saying get as much information because the last thing you want to do is something in your 20s, thinking you getting rid of, debt or student loans, and then let's say in 10 years you get married and you meet a great man, and now he want kids, and the doctor say, "Oh well, what you did 10 years ago has made that null and void." So I'm just saying, being young is great, and I can understand debt is serious, is real for everybody. But just be informed. Don't do something just for the sake of money. That typically never turns out well. When we do something with just money as the goal. But again, like I said, that's me personally. But think long term, and get as much information, as you possibly can before you do anything. Trina, did you want to offer your
I mean, you know, I would think that if it's an option for you to sell or donate eggs, that like you're probably not in a position to put yourself in so much risk. You know what I mean? I would think it's something like you said, like men donating sperm, that maybe you're donating a couple eggs and you got a couple thousand left. I guess if you multiply how many years you're gonna, have a cycle per month and kind of do that math, you got to have at least that many eggs, right? I don't know how it works. I'm just thinking
I
like,
don't know either.
doesn't one have to come and pass through the fallopian tubes each
I
time, each month, right? Doesn't that
That
how the
part I
cycle
do
work?
know. Yes, one goes through
Right.
the
So that's one egg per month. So that's 12 a year times what, like 40 years? That's a couple thousand eggs. So
possibly.
I figured, just quickly thinking it through, and I didn't really think it through, but just quickly thinking it through, maybe you got two or three you could give to somebody. I don't know.
I don't
I
think
mean, if
it's
it
a two or
helps,
three thing.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. It just feels like it would be much more than that if there was a selling or a donation of. But
Yeah,
I really don't know anything about that either. So it's like it's really like a uncharted
Yeah.
territory. I've never even really thought of,
me neither.
doing. I have student loan debt too. I really wouldn't think to do that. I think I've come up with some other crazy ideas to get rid of student loan debt. But never anything like that. Like that's never crossed my mind. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I think, we have to, at the
Do
end of the
your
day, you have,
research.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to
Yeah,
research, but
yeah,
Yeah.
you got to respect your body because let's be honest. One day things can be going one way, and then the next,
Yeah,
you
it can be
know,
different.
right? Like so many things happen that, like on Monday, you wake up and your life is headed in one direction, and then on Wednesday you wake up and your whole life has changed.
Yeah.
It could happen just that quick. So, I would say, like I said, being young, I would really think hard about, a decision that might affect, you later down the line. But do research because we don't know in that respect. I can say we don't know nothing
Mm-mm,
nothing about the topic. This is just
at all.
um our personal opinions. So we're unfamiliar, but you know, let's
Look, now I'm interested. I'm gonna be doing some Google searching.
I
I ain't gonna
really
be asking
am.
questions like, "How
Yeah.
often does this occur? How much
right.
do you
And how
weigh?"
many eggs do you have? So if you
Right.
wanted to sell
How many
some,
do we have? Good question. How many
how much
eggs?
are they going for?
Right.
What's the going
okay.
rate?
What's the age limit?
Okay, so now that we've had that great question, thank you, Ashley. Thank you so very much for that question. But on the line of just respecting your body as a whole, I will say, like I said, the only thing I do right is drink water. That's all that, especially since the pandemic, that is the only thing I've been able to muster up the energy to maintain. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I just have to just go back for 1 second. Google says at birth there are approximately 1 million eggs. By the time you
Okay.
hit puberty, there's only 300,000. And out of the 300,000 that you have over the life of your reproductive life, you ovulate 300 to 400 of those eggs.
Wow.
Fertility can drop as a woman ages due to decreasing number and quality of the remaining eggs.
Mm.
I
Right.
think
So
that's
just
where
a
it would
quick
concern
Google.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the quality, and then, everybody, like, just think if it was that simple and every woman had that many eggs that were
You could just
viable.
share them around.
Well, no, then you wouldn't have as many women struggling to have children. If it was
Right,
just
because
that simple.
I think this is for a healthy woman. That's
right.
yeah, that's not taking into any infertility issues in into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not enough.
So it's not enough.
I was, what Anthony say?
That's how much money you can
5,000.
get to
Mm-hmm.
50,000.
Quick
5 to 50.
search. I guess it just depends on how bad they want it.
Yeah, who wants your
Yeah.
egg? Okay, we
Listen,
digress. It was
obviously. I
interesting.
mean, listen, if I had that many eggs, I don't know what my eggs was doing because for 10 years I didn't get pregnant. And that's without, not having a doctor say there was anything physically wrong.
Hmm.
That's with going through testing and all of that, and still not them saying this is what's wrong, so you're not getting pregnant. Like, according to them, they couldn't find a medical reason,
Mhm.
why it wasn't happening. So, that's why numbers sound great when you get a million. But just think from that time till you get to puberty, more than half of those are gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Where to go? You ain't
I don't know
even.
where they went.
But that's my point. But
Right.
see how quick things can change. So yeah, just do some research. Do some
Right.
research.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Trina. Now you can answer your own question.
Um, I thought I was supposed to go last since I asked the question.
Okay. Fine, Shanetta, you go next.
So I'm opposite of you. I don't do good with water. The other day I had a bottle of water, and that was like the first time, and I didn't know how many days I'd had a bottle of water, and I felt bad, but at the same time, like I'm not good. Like unless I'm forcing myself to drink water, I'm just terrible at drinking water. But I will every single morning take 3 vitamins. Like
Okay.
like nothing. So every single morning I take my multivitamin, I take a vitamin D, and I take uh vitamin B or vitamin C.
Mhm.
Every single morning I take those. I pretend to exercise. Um
Pretend?
What does that mean?
How do
What
you
does that mean?
pretend?
I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna do this, and I'll do it like once every 2 weeks. And I'll be like, I exercise, but I also count walking up the stairs as exercise. And I'm like, but I walked 2 flights of stairs today, so like I went upstairs, to get something out the bedroom, so I exercised. So that's my pretending to exercise. And somebody asks, like, so if my doctor asks, he's like, have you been exercising? I'm like, yeah. And I'll answer the question with a straight face. And he's like, okay, what are you doing? I walk up the stairs. And every time he just shakes his head like, you've got to stop saying that. but that's my exercise pretending. But every once in a while, like there's this guy that I follow on Instagram. He does chair aerobics. And so you sit in a chair and you work out for 20 minutes. And it's really, I don't know, it wears me out. It wears me out. So I've been trying that. But if I actually did all the stuff he was telling me to do, I'd probably be on the right track. But I just do like the little 20-minute workout maybe once every 2 weeks. And then, I'm like, I exercise. That'd be great. And yeah. So I think I eat pretty good. But when I say that out loud to my husband, he just kind of giggles like, yeah, whatever. I don't eat beef. I don't eat pork. So I'm like, I'm doing great. I slowed down on the ice cream, so I'm like, yeah, like
Okay.
I'm not good at this, guys. Like I don't really have
Here,
health advice.
I don't know.
I
But
just
I'm in the same boat with you, Shanetta. My water intake is horrible. It's horrible. I don't know why. I even have like a little app that goes off every 15 minutes. And at first, I was like, oh, okay, let me get a sip of water. But now I just ignore it. Like, I'm not. So that and exercise is my goal. Drinking water and exercising, because I'll be honest, I don't know when I've consistently exercised.
Yeah.
Those
I'm
are
gonna send you this Instagram link for the chair aerobics.
okay. I'm gonna try to work up to once every 2 weeks.
Listen, Georgia is pretty much open back up. And I know for the two ladies
Yeah.
that's in Georgia, as soon as we fully function, I know everybody's going to get back into the habit of the rat race. But
Yeah.
I'm going to issue a challenge. As soon as Trina answers, I'm going to challenge everybody, myself included.
Okay.
Go ahead, Trina.
On the water thing, that's something I definitely consistently do. I
Okay, then.
I love water and I love to drink water. So but as far as exercising, I always start strong. I start
Right.
strong. I get out there. I be walking. I just swinging my arms. Good 3 days in, and then
Yeah.
I just be like, yeah, I don't really feel like doing that today. And I mean, it's the getting started, it's the staying motivated that's just really hard. I've over the last couple of weeks, so I got this little tracker thing, and I know that I text you guys, and I was like, I did 10,000 steps. Child, that was the only time I did 10,000 steps that one day. But I have gone from doing 2,000, and I moved it up to 3,
Okay.
moved it up to 4. I moved it up to 5. I haven't really consistently hit 5,000 steps, but I'm doing something. I'm trying to stay motivated because I feel like COVID got me
That's it.
extra 10 pounds and it just made me unhappy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Before that, I was already like, we ain't doing good. And then COVID put an extra 10 pounds on top of where I was already just like, so I was like, I got to do something. And, but it's just trying to stay motivated. It's very hard to,
That's what it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
because sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I got my Adidas sneakers on. They cute and everything. I'm about to get out here. Because you got to hold on to something. Like my sneakers are cute. That's something to get you going.
Yeah.
It don't really last.
That's probably why I
So,
can't work out because I don't even like wearing sneakers. My toes closed in, and that like I just be like, my feet. No.
see? Listen, I can come
that's
up with
different.
10 excuses, 10 different excuses every day as to
Yep.
why I I I just can't do it. Feet hurt. I worked hard all day. Back hurt. Hip hurt.
I was
Up
thinking about it.
this guy.
I
You
was
know?
so thinking it. I was like, I don't know. I think I'm okay with my extra weight at this point. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah. Then you start telling
Okay.
yourself, but it's all right. It's cute. And I got this pullover, this toss over. I can toss that over and pull it across and make the belt do it, and it's a style and it hide all that. But I'm the hiding it stuff. But I think what really motivated me was I was looking at my birthday pictures and I was like, wow, that's different. It was a different look for me, you know. It was the extra weight. And then I said, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a before picture. Girl, I took a before picture. You know that before picture where you just have on you don't really not completely dressed.
Right.
Well, I took that picture. And when I tell you I cried because wow, that's a different picture than dressed. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different. And I never really look at myself undressed because I'm just like get out the shower, get dressed, and go about my business. And then I kept looking at the picture, and I was just crying. I was just like, wow, this is not because it's personal. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has a weight or an image that they're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? And
Blasphemy.
What is
the,
the reality?
right. And so I'm not comfortable where I'm at, and so that's some motivation for me to keep going. But I'm smaller portions. I'm definitely working on that. I'm trying to do the intermittent fasting. I'm trying to do things that's simple for me. Um, but listen, it's hard. It's hard to change habits. It's hard to be consistent, and it's hard
Yeah.
to stay motivated. Definitely,
All of the above.
yes.
Amen.
So hard.
Yeah, I
The
will say
consistency, the motivation, all of that.
Yeah.
right. The consistency is what get me. Like I get up some mornings, I get the stuff on, and I'm out there in the garage, and I'm on the little machine I got, and that's the sad part. I have a machine in my garage. That's that's one. So I really should be ashamed of myself. But I'm gonna blame my husband because
That's right. Blame
Oh,
him.
I start, listen, I
where is he?
start and I be so motivated. But like for me, I have to keep everything on a schedule. So what happens by day 4, he's like, oh, let's go do this. Or oh, this needs to happen. And then by day 4, once my schedule is broken, on day 5, I just can't pick it back up. Like I
Right.
get a great start. But him and that curly hair is always distracting me. It is always distracting me. Little things that I try to do sometimes. Um, she said, but there's a difference when you want to do something. Yeah, I guess.
Now that when you do something, you will make it happen.
Mhm.
But that's my issue. How do I move it
Right.
to the want category.
I mean, honestly, anything you start is not going to be easy. It's, everything comes with the challenge. And there's some things. And then for me, like, I feel like there's so many things that you have to do, and I know like exercising probably should be on that list, but I'm like, I just don't want to do it today. Like there has to be
Right.
something that I don't want to do that I get not to do. You gotta be a mother. I gotta be a wife. When ministry stuff happen, I gotta stop and I gotta, tend to the ministry. And then my mom has some health issues, so you gotta stop and you gotta check on mama, and you gotta, there's so many gottas. So sometimes when it comes to that exercise, I'm like, I just don't feel like it. And
Right.
that's the one thing, it's like, well, I don't feel like it. I'm
Right.
just, no, something is gonna get a no today. And unfortunately, too many times it's been the exercise. Elder McNair said, very important to do things that suit you, right? If you're like me, you lack discipline and commitment, in which nothing is going to work, right? And that's the problem. Like, it is crazy because I'm committed and disciplined with so many other things.
Yes.
But I think
Right.
it's a part of that self-care. Like, I think
Yeah.
for so long, you do so many things for everybody else. It's like everything takes a priority. And by the time I get to me, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I don't feel like
Yeah.
it. So I would
Yeah.
love to get a Stairmaster. Ashley said, I know I'm inconsistent with my Tuesdays, but I do enjoy turning. I'll turn in with y'all. Yeah, but so I'm gonna issue a challenge to everybody's watching, everybody that's gonna watch. This is what we're gonna do. So I don't know if Android phones work like iPhones. With the iPhone will tell you how many steps you've done for the day. So I don't know if Androids work the same. So this is what we can do this whole week until next Tuesday. So y'all, the ladies on the screen, y'all have to text me. I'm gonna advise everybody watching or listening, find you a text buddy, somebody that's willing to take the challenge with you, somebody that you can text every day at the end of the day with your steps, and they'll text you theirs. So I feel like if we create a partnership, it's harder to be lazy when somebody's like, what's this? This not what we agreed on. So us
You
four,
didn't even get up today, did
No
you?
idea how quick
I was getting ready to say you don't want to see, and I have a whole like little. You don't even know. I was just looking at my wife like, child, you might as well stayed in bed today.
right. So, and listen, it's
Okay.
really hard for people, the ones that work at home and you're not getting out, but that's why this is going to be a challenge. So, um, everybody on the screen, y'all don't get a choice. Y'all gonna have to be in. So y'all gonna tell what your steps are for the day, and we agree for 1 week to double our steps. So tomorrow, you have to double your steps from whatever it is today, and then you have to do that for the week.
Okay.
Ladies, do y'all agree?
Double
Sure,
the steps
I can do that.
tomorrow.
You don't even want to know what my steps are right now. So doubling
She's like,
that
it's
would
easy
be
to double zero.
yes. So I could do that.
Okay,
So
so I'm,
double
I'm gonna
today's
go first.
steps.
So today, yes, and we're gonna make it pretty, and we're gonna post it. My AV guy, he's gonna post it. And actually, every day I'm gonna get on and I'm gonna post my steps online. Since I'm the one with the big mouth, this is the only way because I refuse to be embarrassed online. So, so this will definitely push me. I will take a picture and show y'all my steps. This will definitely push me to have to do it. So today I did 2,724 steps, which was a stretch because it's only because I went out the house. So this is probably a bad day for me, but so I'm gonna double that. We're just gonna round it off to 2,700 steps, and so to double that is what, like 5,400 steps. So I'm committing to starting tomorrow doing 5,400 steps every day from tomorrow to next Tuesday. That's my commitment out loud. Like and I'm figuring out how to make this happen. Even though I'm currently in the house almost every day. So that's gonna be my agreement. I'm agreeing to 5,400 steps, and I'm going to post mine on the Sisters of Legacy every day, probably with a picture of me looking really tired and really angry with myself. But I'm going to post. So Shanetta, you wanna share your steps?
So okay, so mine today. Now here's the problem that I have with this, that I get up and I walk
Disclaimer.
without my phone in my hand. So
Gotta
like
pick it up.
it's gonna miss some of my steps. Okay.
That's why you're gonna have to remember, pick it up. Pick it, put it in your pocket.
Okay.
It's a
So
challenge. It's a challenge.
today I had 3,260 steps.
Okay.
So that means that I'm trying to get to 6,520. So
Okay, so let's say 6,500 steps.
6,500 steps. That
Okay.
means literally instead of sitting 6 feet away from these kids in my class and social distancing, I'm gonna have to get up and walk around the class while I'm teaching. Because I'm like, I'm at my desk, you're at your desk. Talk from over. Okay.
So are you in for the challenge? You gotta agree online. Are you in?
Lord have mercy, I am in. If I say
Okay.
hello and
Okay.
everybody doesn't hear me, then maybe I can out next week.
Okay, Trina, what you got? What you got?
Got 3,300 today.
Okay, so you be what, 600 steps
Yep.
from tomorrow to next Tuesday?
Yeah.
So you're in for the challenge?
I'm in.
Tangela, I feel like you about to get off easy. Go ahead. What you got?
Okay, I have a couple of questions though. So
Okay.
this is per day.
Per
Right?
day, you have to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine was solo. So I'm just going to set a goal of 2,000.
Okay.
And that's actually way more than double.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if I had my watch on today. I don't think I had it on all day.
Oh,
So
maybe I can convince my husband to give me an Apple Watch.
Hey, listen, Elder,
that's
you gotta
right.
participate. You gotta help her with the challenge. So yes, that is gonna be the challenge. So if there's anybody watching and maybe you're connected to one of us on the broadcast and you want to be a part, oh well, hold on. My AV guy looked like he did something. Post your steps as well. Okay, so my AV guy says any ladies interested in being a part, post your steps as well on the Sisters of Legacy page and be a part. Also text LWN to 84576. All right, so my AV guy is on the job. Yes. But or if you
Are we opening? Are we opening? This is only for women, right?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's more like a health challenge. So if the men want to participate, it would be the same thing. I would just ask everybody double whatever your steps were today, and let's see if we can maintain this for a week. Now, there's one thing that Trina did teach me the last time when we were talking about the steps, and she was like, she had a certain amount of steps, and then she had a certain goal she was trying to get to. So she said she was gonna go downstairs and dance with her daughter to get her steps up, and she did that, and it worked. So even her
Dancing, I'm trying to tell you, put on go to YouTube. They have all these dance videos.
yes.
But people exercise. You get so many steps so quickly.
Right.
And so that's, if you need to get your steps in, dancing gets you some steps real quick. So
that's
definitely
a little trick for y'all. Dance around the house. Listen, turn on some good old 90s R&B, dance during the living room. Don't be twerking and backing it up. That ain't gonna help you.
Also, if you want to keep it all the way churchy, put on some Hezekiah Walker
And start shouting.
Go ahead and shout. That's a lot of steps.
You'll double your steps.
Yes, it's a lot of steps shouting.
Anthony said I can do the running man. I'm alone. Listen, don't do the running man, please.
I do get my most steps on Sundays. I'll be honest with you. That's when I usually hit my. Yeah, I get my most. I meet my goal the most on Sundays.
Listen, whatever music will get you up and out of your seat, I say rock it. If you need to cut a rug and get some good old Hezekiah shouting music and get the going,
Hallelujah.
do that too. Listen, whatever works. But this is the challenge, and we're gonna come up with some. I don't know. We'll figure out some prizes or something as we go along. But for the first week, it's just gonna be to double your steps. And all these ladies that don't drink water, you at least need to do one bottle a day. We're not even
Yes.
going. We're not gonna get outrageous since y'all don't do water.
I
At
can
least
do a
do
bottle.
one 20-ounce bottle a day. Just a bottle of water. At least get in one. To go along with those steps. See, the more you
Yeah,
move, the
you got
thirstier you should be. Go ahead, Chanel.
Mhm.
Can I add something to it? Put
Yeah,
Crystal
like
Light.
lemon.
Oh, can
What
you
is
add something to the water?
Yes.
No, you need to do one bottle of just water.
you
Just
mean like
What's wrong
fruit,
with
right?
Crystal Light?
huh?
I didn't really mean fruit, but I'll try fruit. I meant like
Okay, well,
Crystal Light.
Crystal Light.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
what's wrong with Crystal Light?
I mean,
it,
because honestly, I have a bottle of water sitting right here with me, but it has
I do
Crystal
too.
Light in it.
I think that's a very good progression. But that's as a non-water drinker, so maybe I'm not the right person
I
to
think. I
comment.
mean, what you trying to tell me? You can't drink 20 ounces of water in one day?
I can.
That just seems
I
so
can do that.
unhealthy. Like to not be able to drink a bottle of water like the whole day.
Do you guys like fruit in your water? Like,
Yeah, like actual fruit. You know how you can
lemon
just like
or
you can
lime?
infuse the water.
No.
I'll try
No,
it.
I mean, it's
Look
okay.
at Tangela. She like,
but listen,
not really.
honestly, I'm not.
I could do a bottle of water. Yeah, I mean, I can do that.
Honestly, however you need to get it down, it's fine. If you need that crystal light to get your day right,
Right.
I can't begrudge you your crystal light. I'm just saying, just try to get in some water to go along with the steps. And like I said, for
Not to
me,
put
I'm gonna be
Kool-Aid in.
posting. And even when I don't make it, I'm gonna post my steps, and I'm gonna try not to make an excuse. I'm just gonna have the sad face and say I didn't make it. I'm not gonna come up,
What had
but
happened
I'm
was
going, huh?
what had happened was
Right. So I am going to post my step. Um, we'll do a post tonight and put up what everybody agreed to. We're gonna put it on the page. Y'all don't have to post daily. I'm not gonna ask you to do that. If you want to, you very well can go to the page. Excuse me, the Sisters of Legacy page and post it, ladies. If you choose not to, that is perfectly fine. But on our group text, we will be exchanging numbers at the end of the evening, and I will be looking.
Let me just let y'all know in advance. I complain when it comes to exercise and doing right. I'm just a complainer.
right.
So just I'm gonna have all the excuses and all the reasons why because
Listen,
that's where I live.
we love you just the same. Honestly, at the end of the day, I believe for all of us, it's not about looking like anything, any generic anything. This is more
Right.
about personal health and being
Right.
healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all have children. We all want to see our children do everything that the Lord allows. So, whether that's seeing them to graduation and marriage and grandkids, we all want to have um the longevity that the Lord desires for us to have. So this is just a challenge for all of us to be healthier. All the conversations is great. There's lots of things, unfortunately, in our communities that we definitely need to talk about, that we need to work on, but everything starts with us. So we are going to hopefully inspire somebody else to just do a little bit to be a little more healthier. It don't have to be, nobody's asking you to turn into Billy Blanks, or Sean T and start making videos. We just want to be a little more healthier. That didn't sound right. But y'all point. So, as always, Thank you guys for joining us. We hope that something we said tonight inspires you to do better or be better, or just look for more out of yourself, because I believe that we all have so much inside of us that oftentimes we don't tap into. So this is again an effort for us to tap into an untapped part of ourselves. And I think with the little challenge and a little nudge and a little accountability, we are all going to do more than we imagine. So thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for being here. My co-hosts, thank you ladies for um, being supportive and being here and giving me your time. As always, we're here Tuesday nights at 8:30. So we will return next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. with our great numbers and our great stories about how our week has been. So until then, you guys stay safe and be careful.